What up, what up? Today we are talking about each NFL's team and each quarterback situation going on in each of these 32 franchises. We've had a lot of shakeup this year. We've got a lot of different changes. We've got a lot of new faces and new places, starting quarterbacks. We have 4 starting rookies to talk about so far. And, there's a lot. As I'm recording, this is the end of Monday Night Football of Week 14, just happened last night. So that's where I'm at. So let's start with the 2 teams that just had byes, the Cardinals and the Commanders. Starting with the Cardinals in Arizona. Man. All right, so to start the year, Kyler Murray had his ACL injury, hadn't recovered fully, and so we had Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs played his butt off, did his thing. He did okay. He led us to 1 win over the Dallas Cowboys, which at the time the Cowboys were looking dominant. So it was kind of cool to see that little upset. As a Cardinals fan, it warms your heart, but it's like, man, actually, we kind of wanted to lose that game. But it is what it is. Then, for the very last game before Kyler Murray made his return, we threw in Clayton Tune. And Clayton Tune was a 5th-round rookie, I want to say. And he didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. I don't even think he broke 100 passing yards. Actually, I don't even think he broke 75. Not great. Kyler Murray came back and looked amazing in his first 2 games. Did his thing. Led us to a couple wins already since he's been back. Now we're up to 3-10, I want to say. So go up. Is Kyler the answer? Yes. Yes, he is. He is the answer. Cardinals fans love getting on Kyler Murray's butt. And I don't get it. I do get it, but I don't love it. Okay. Do I think he is a championship level quarterback? Probably not. That's where I'm going to stealing him, right? Nah, he can get us to the NFC Championship game, maybe, but that's all we've ever done in our history, really, anyways. We made the Super Bowl 1 time. I lost to the Steelers, breaks my heart to this day. So I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a championship level quarterback, but really, we're too worried about all the other holes on this team. Commanders, Sam Howell has his first year starting, and man, it's been a quiet, good year. If this team had a few more wins, which they easily could have because they have a lot of single possession losses, if those were translated into wins, which were more on the defense's part than his, we would be talking about Sam Howell as an MVP in his first year starting. We really would be. Look at his stats. They match up with a lot of these top guys. They look better than Brock Purdy's. They're not far behind Dak Prescott's. He has multiple 300-yard games. He has a couple 400 total yard games. This man has done it. He has done it. He's got some great weapons there. We really just got to shore up the defense, and he could be an MVP candidate. So, yes, Sam Howell's the man in Washington. Keep him there. Fix this defense, whatever the heck is going on. And let's get some wins in Washington. Come on, the city needs it. Next, let's talk about the Patriots. They played on Thursday Night Football this week, went into Pittsburgh and got a win, which surprised a lot of people. Mac Jones was not the quarterback. Okay, Bailey Zapp comes in, throws for 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Is he the new man in New England? Why not write it out? The season is done for. They've already been eliminated from playoff contention. Ride Bailey Zapp out. Is Mac Jones done for? I don't think so. It might be like a Zach Wilson situation where, he might be fluctuating between that second string now. We'll see how it goes. But I want to see Bailey Zapp healthy. I want to see what he does the rest of this year. Really, they have nothing to lose there in New England because there's nothing to gain. They're bad. The whole team is bad. The Steelers, Kenny Pickett hasn't been the guy. He's got 6 touchdown passes on the year, I want to say. 7. No, he's got 7 touchdown passes on the year. That's not great. That's not great for a first-round quarterback. That's not great for a team with an elite defense. That's not great with the weapons they have on offense as well, with Pat Freiermuth, with Najee Harris, with Jalen Warren, with George Pickens. Come on, man. This team needs to be better. Kenny Pickett, they're going to have to stick it out because they don't really have any other options. But, man, and they might just trip their way into the playoffs right now. Now, they did just fire Matt Canada, and that was an improvement. And they're just figuring it out. So hopefully we can see the rest of this year Kenny Pickett grow and develop. Moving on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they did a little one-year rental kind of deal of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, my guy, Baker Mayfield, okay? And I think they just kind of expected to just coast this season and then, maybe draft a quarterback with the top-tier pick. That's not the case. The Buccaneers are sitting at 6-7 as top of the NFC South. They're going to make the playoffs at this point. They had a huge win over the Falcons to really boost their chances. Baker kind of does his thing. Now, it's not great. 6-7 isn't amazing. That's not usually a playoff record. But Baker's done well. He's outplayed expectations by far. By far. Do you get rid of him? Probably, still. Because he's not the answer long term. I think we know that. Depends on what kind of draft position they can get, what they can get for a quarterback. He could still be the guy that you have your rookie quarterback sit behind for a little bit and let Baker do his thing. Because, man, he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been bad, but he's definitely not the long-term answer there in Tampa Bay. Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder has been all up and down, inconsistent. This week, against those said Buccaneers, they lost, but Desmond threw for 347 yards. 1 touchdown to go with 1 pick. So it wasn't amazing. He's just been, again, y'all know how much I hate talking about the Falcons. I hate talking about the Falcons offense. Because what is going on? They just are so inconsistent as a team, not just Desmond Ridder, even though he gets the blame a lot of times. But Bijan doesn't get touches sometimes. Kyle Pitts doesn't get targets sometimes. Drake London doesn't get targets. Why? Figure out that offense, please. Please. I don't want to estimate what Desmond Ridder is, but they don't have any other options. Taylor Heineke, they did that little experiment, but he's not it either. Desmond Ridder's the guy for now. Still give him another season. Let the team develop. It's still a young offense. A young offense. An old defense, but a young offense. So give him time. Give him time. The Lions. Jared Goff has came out and played really well. For the first part of the season, he looked like a legitimate MVP candidate. Now, since the first Bears game, it's kind of been rough. I think he had 2-3 interceptions in that ball game. Then he had 3 fumbles against the Packers. They lost here against the Bears when he didn't play amazing. Well, Jared Goff will figure it out. He'll figure it out. We'll see what he does playoff time. That's really going to be the tall tale of Jared Goff and this Lions offense. And I think he's going to be all right. I think he's the man for now. For now, for sure. Give it a little bit longer. But yeah, let's see what he does come playoff time. Now the Bears. Now this is a tricky one. Justin Fields. Are we sold? Are we sold on Justin Fields? I believe Justin Fields will be a starter in 2024. Do I know which team? No. I'm not confident he's going to be a Bear. When the Bears are likely to get the top pick in the draft from the Carolina Panthers, we'll see if Caleb Williams declares. I don't know. With how hyped up of a prospect Caleb Williams has been, I just have to assume that the Bears would take that. They passed on it last year, not taking Bryce Young, and instead trading him to the Panthers, essentially, for DJ Moore and this year's first-round pick, plus some more. And it panned out, right? Bryce Young has not looked that good, but we'll get to there when we talk about the Panthers. But as far as Justin Fields, man, again, he's got flashes here and there. This week, having 223 yards with a touchdown. And he's had some games where, he's looked like the man. Last year, he looked decent with his running game. This year, he's not running quite so much, and he still looked good in the running game. Justin Fields is a starting quarterback. If I'm the Bears, I'm not sold on Caleb Williams. I'm really not. So I'm going to say Justin Fields should probably be a quarterback of the Chicago Bears. And I'm looking to trade Caleb Williams because you can get a bag, okay? You can get a bag for this pick. He's one of the top prospects in recent history, at least since Joe Burrow, okay? And I don't know. I'm still a fan of Justin Fields. I know he's not great, and I know Bears fans don't love him, but I still think you give him a shot. Indianapolis Colts, we got a small sample size of Anthony Richardson before he got hurt, and man, it was fun. It was fun. This boy was balling out. He was doing all types of things. He was running the football real well. He was throwing it okay. His running game was definitely stronger. But then the injuries set in. he missed a few games, came back, looked good again, missed a few more games, had a season-ending surgery on his shoulder. It's just eerily familiar to RG3. It's scary. I hope and pray that Anthony Richardson can figure out a way to stay healthy next year, because he was fun. It was electric, and I think it's something that the Colts were excited to see. This is the kind of quarterback that the Colts have never seen, ever. Gardner Minshew really hasn't lived up to my expectations. But come on, man, I just still haven't got off the Minshew Mania bandwagon since 2019 or whatever it was. Okay, I'm still a fan, but he just hasn't done it. Anthony Richardson will be back, though. The Bengals, I mean, they've got Jake Browning starting right now, and he's looked okay. Yeah, I mean, 275 yards and 2 touchdowns with 1 interception is not a bad game last week against the Colts, picking up a big win, putting up 34 points on offense even. But Joe Burrow's the man there. We all know that, and Joe just obviously wasn't his best year. Injuries are still a legitimate problem for Joe Burrow. He is also a guy who needs to figure out how to stay healthy, take less hits, because he's been the most sacked quarterback pretty much since he's entered the league. And that's horrible. The Bengals need to bolster that line. Come on now. You cannot have Joe Burrow tear his ACL his rookie year, miss most of the season this year. You know, when he's healthy, they're a Super Bowl contender. We know that. Keep him healthy. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, not much to be said about him. You know, he's just a few steps away from being an MVP candidate. You know, again, hopefully he can stay healthy the remainder of this year and go make a legit playoff run. Trevor Lawrence is the man. Browns is another tricky one. I am not sold on Deshaun Watson. I used to be a big Deshaun Watson guy before the massages. But I'm still a fan of his game. Still a fan. But he just didn't look good this year. I mean, he showed some flashes here and there, but it wasn't much. It wasn't. Joe Flacco has looked a lot better these past 2 weeks than Deshaun Watson ever has in the Browns offense. Joe Flacco threw for 311 yards with 3 touchdowns last week. Okay? That ain't nothing to scoff at. Deshaun Watson really hasn't done that. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I mean, he's been in and out. P.J. Walker had a good game here and there, and then they kicked him out. I mean, is Deshaun Watson the answer long term? I don't think so. He ain't going to get you to the promised land, I'll tell you that. Joe Flacco's too old to be the answer long term. Carolina, let's talk about Bryce Young now. Okay, all right, the number 1 overall pick. Bryce Young, supposed to be the man. Yeah, not the man. Not the man. I don't know. He's barely cracked 200 yards in a game. He has 1 2-touchdown game. You know, I mean, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. The Panthers are a horrible, horrible football team. They have no weapons. Not sold on Bryce Young. Even though the team is bad, it's just... I mean, obviously, we're not going to give up hope on the young fella already. Give him some time. Bolster the team in the offseason. We'll see what we can do. But I'm just not excited about anything. The New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr is the man who came in over free agency this year after getting cut by the Las Vegas Raiders. And he hasn't looked good. He really hasn't been that good. And I called that at the beginning of the season. I want y'all to know that. You know, Sade, my in-house Saints fan, man, what's up? What's up? You said Derek Carr was going to be the man. He's not the man. He's had some good games here and there. Don't get me wrong. But it hasn't been pretty for the most part. And doesn't even break 200 yards this week. There have been so many different changes at the wide receiver position, so I get that. But, man, it just hasn't been good. It has not been good for Derek Carr in his first year in New Orleans. So, I mean, we're not going to give up on Derek Carr either. Again, this is another guy you need maybe another year or two. Kind of get some consistency, see how he does. But his footwork is atrocious, man. It's horrible. It's so bad. Go watch Ben Kurt. He'll break down Derek Carr's footage, and man, it's not good. It is not good. He could be an elite quarterback, but he's just missing too many things. Texans, C.J. Stroud, man, he's legit. He was in MVP conversations a little bit, more of a hype thing than anything. And really that kind of ends this week with him taking a big hit, concussion in the 4th quarter. Didn't look good to begin this game anyways, but he's the man. He's definitely the man. He had a great year, his rookie campaign, especially considering the weapons that he was given. A bunch of rookies, really. And they've turned out good. They drafted well. They had a great draft. And I'm excited about this Texans team under DeMeco Ryans. it's amazing. It's so fun. But CJ Stroud's the man. The Jets, you're just waiting on Aaron Rodgers, man. Zach Wilson just had a great game. Check out my last video. But, man, you're just missing a lot. Let's be honest. You're missing a lot. So, we'll see what happens. Aaron Rodgers, hopefully he's the man for the next few years. Zach Wilson could maybe be the predecessor. I'm not even high on that take. But, really, we're just banking on Aaron Rodgers, which is recovering stupid fast from this Achilles tear. The Rams, Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford and the boys are going to lead you to a mediocre team. They might even sneak their way into the playoffs. They might be one of those teams. But really, is this team winning another Super Bowl? No, absolutely not. The team is just getting older. Stafford's getting older. We're going to have to see some change here soon. Oh, Matt Stafford's not it. We'll see what they do. A 6-7 record. They've got some good games coming up that they're probably going to win a few of them. So I don't expect them. I expect them to kind of have a 15 to 20 draft pick. So not much you can do there, but you definitely can snag a quarterback. See it. Maybe move on from Matt Stafford. None of the backups look great though. We'll see what's going on with Stetson Bennett. He really hasn't played much football for the Rams. He's old though too for a rookie. So I don't know. Lamar Jackson is the man in Baltimore, no questions asked. He really needs to limit the turnovers, but man, he really hasn't had much of weapons this year. But they're still looking good, and they're figuring it out. Zay Flowers is getting better each and every week, so that's something to be excited about. The Vikings, good question, man. They're going to Nick Mullins now to be their starting quarterback after a disastrous past couple weeks, even though they won this week 3-0 against the Raiders. But Josh Dobbs he had his moment. It was fun. But Nick Mullins is now the starter. I don't know what happened in giving Jaren Hall much of a shot. But Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback typically. Obviously, that Achilles injury to him ended his season. He's not Aaron Rodgers. And it was later in the year. But he wasn't looking amazing to begin with to start the season. I don't think it was all Kirk Cousins' fault for their losses. I think you bring Kirk back. You do your thing. We see where we are. But I don't know. You make a playoff push with Nick Mullins for sure. And then we do have to find something of a young quarterback here soon. But I'm a big Kirk Cousins guy, so I'm going to stick with Kirk for a little bit longer. The Raiders, I don't freaking know what to do. Aiden O'Connell is not it. I think we're going to be drafting a quarterback this year, if not making a trade for one. You got too many stars that are kind of getting up there. You don't want to waste their prime, such as Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Max Crosby. You know the team. Seahawks, we've got Geno Smith. He went down with an injury. And now, Drew Lock didn't play too bad against the Niners this week. Geno Smith, I'm not sold on. I'm not sold on to be an elite level quarterback. I do think he's kind of in that same Kyler Murray type boat, where he can get you to an NFC Championship game, can get you in the playoffs, maybe win a couple rounds, but he's not a Super Bowl contender. He's playing some good football, so you can't really get rid of him either. The 49ers, Brock Purdy's the man. I know he had a stretch of games where he didn't look great, but he's the man. He's the man. He's looked good for the contract he's on. You have to keep him. And why? Why wouldn't you? I mean, he's got, this week, he had 368 passing yards with 2 touchdowns. I mean, you can get on him all you want for just throwing quick slants or bubble screens or whatever, but when he wants to throw the ball downfield, Brock Purdy can throw the ball downfield. He is a smart quarterback. He's still a rookie, mind you. Brock Purdy is a guy who's just going to continue to develop and get better and be in an MVP conversation like he is right now. So go, Brock Purdy. Go 49ers. A lot of good things. The Bills and the Chiefs are both set at quarterback. Josh Allen has a lot of turnover issues, but he'll figure it out, man. He's got to limit that, but he's still good enough to hang around. 9 straight games with an interception is horrible. Come on, Josh. But he's still a very good quarterback. You got to keep him Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, so you know how it goes. Broncos, Russell Wilson is playing absolute lights-out football as of late. Keep him, man. 224 yards and 2 touchdowns in his latest outing against the Chargers, who have a decent defense. Russ is a man. Russ is back to his form. Sean Payton really has things figured out now, so it's fun to see. The Chargers, Justin Herbert is not your problem. Keep him. Eagles and Cowboys, I think you're both set. There were a lot of questions about Dak Prescott coming into the year. Can he win the big games? We're still not sold on that. But with this huge win on Sunday Night Football against the Eagles at home, mind you, Dak went for 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and led the team to 33 points, beating the Eagles, who have a decent defense. Okay, so I don't know. You can hate on Dak all you want, but he's an MVP quarterback. He is my MVP frontrunner right now. Don't hate on him too much. There's really not many better options out there anyways. So yes, Dak is the guy. Jalen Hurts, of course, is the man after putting up the performance that he did last year and continuing to do so in Philadelphia this year. It's been great to watch, man. Jalen Hurts is the guy. Packers, Jordan Love, are you sold on him? I'm not. He has looked good as of late, so really, we got to give him at least the rest of the season to see where he's at. Maybe we revisit this video at the end, maybe come February, March, April. But I'm not sold on him as of yet. He did just throw for another 200 yards. He has had his best couple games in the past 3 weeks, so can't hate on him completely. But you got to win against the Giants, man. The Giants have an interesting quarterback situation. Daniel Jones did not look good. He went 1-5 this year before being done for the season. But Tommy DeVito, man, he's got 3 wins. He's got 3. Daniel Jones might be on his way out. I don't know. Again, that pressure of New York is real. It's real. So we'll see. Tommy DeVito's the answer for right now, though. I mean, of course, he's been doing his things. And we'll see how the season ends for them as well. And we'll see what kind of move. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked to see them draft a quarterback. Wouldn't be shocked to see them make a trade for one. But for right now, Tommy DeVito is going to run out the rest of the season. We'll see how he does. We'll see what happens with Daniel Jones. But I want Giants fans to let me know what you think of Daniel Jones. The Tennessee Titans, Will Levis, one of the last starting quarterbacks as a rookie this year to talk about. And man, he's had his ups and downs. But remind you, he's a rookie. He came in his first start, went for 300 and some yards, making some crazy throws, and he did it. This week again in a win against the Dolphins and a comeback win, he showed his clutch gene and everything, throwing for 327 yards and a touchdown with 1 pick. That ain't bad, man. Will Levis, give him some time. He's the guy. He's the new man in Tennessee. Absolutely, and I'm behind him 100%. The Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, come on, man. He's been throwing the ball. He is perfect in this Dolphins system. Just has to limit the turnovers. Again, I think that's something he will do as he continues to learn from Mike McDaniel, who I think is a quarterback genius. He's just from that pedigree. Most of those guys in the Shanahan tree line, they're quarterback geniuses. So I got faith in Mike McDaniel fixing that Tua Tagovailoa turnover issue. He's just got to calm down. He's got to slow the game down. Even though his teammates are running 100 miles an hour, he doesn't have to. But that's what I have for quarterbacks. This might be a little bit of a longer video, but I have fun making it. I love talking about the NFL. I love talking about teams. I love talking about situations, giving my takes. What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? What do you think your team's quarterback situation is? Let me know. I'll be in the comments. Of course. Let's have these conversations. That's what I'm here for. But subscribe if you're new around here. We've got more football talk coming. We got some NBA talk. We're really going to ramp up the NBA here stuff here soon. I got to get my feet under me, okay? All right? But I appreciate the love as always. Take care, fellas.